Hi there, Janet Fritz here for Galaxy Girl Creations. Welcome to my channel. Welcome to the last day of Off the Board for July 2021. We will be back again the end of August on the last Wednesday of the month, and that is typically how Off the Board is. It's the last Wednesday of each month, but for the month of July, we've been doing it all month long, using our Pinterest pins for inspiration for our scrapbooking. So if you've missed any of it or you want to go back and revisit any of it, it's all month long. There's tons of inspiration, tons of people playing along throughout the month. Links are in my description box down below. So I had this partial cut file that I had already cut apart for something else, so I thought I would cut some more of the flowers out of it and use it on this layout. I'm using some Paige Evans Bloom Street paper, and the inspiration that I used was an actual sketch. I don't typically kind of go for sketches and scrap lifting for off the board, but this one I decided to go ahead and do it. I needed to finish out the month and needed a little bit of a break, to be honest with you. So I decided to go ahead and use that sketch, and it has some leaves and such above and below the photo, and I am doing a single photo layout, and I do want this one to be kind of front and center. It is a photo of my mom, myself, and my daughter, and in the photo my daughter is expecting, and so it's almost 4 generations. And so the photo was taken at her baby shower, so I wanted to kind of document that and get that into her book about her baby shower, which I have not done hardly anything on. So you might be seeing some more of those photos coming up or down the road. So I took these two pieces. They are going to be tucked underneath the photograph, so you're not going to see all of the pieces. So that's why I'm not worrying about inking up everything. And I tried inking it with scattered straw in the middle, and then Kitsch Flamingo, I believe, on the outside. And I'm going to go back and change that because I didn't end up liking it against this ombre, well, it's not really ombre, against this watercolor type background. So I decided to go back and just change the colors to keep with the color scheme that's in the back. So I am stamping this Elizabeth Craft Design stamp, and it looks like a little clipboard. And so I'm using that for my journaling spot. You're not going to see the journaling on the camera. I'm keeping that a little bit private for my daughter to read. So I'm not going to do that on camera. You're not even going to see it in the stills. But the piece is there ready to go so that when I do journal it, it's got a spot to hold the journaling. Now I have some dies that cut these vines, and so I went and just ran a bunch of white paper through my die cut machine, which I'm currently using a Tonic Tangerine, which is a really heavy duty die cutting machine, somewhat like a Big Shot or Cuttlebug or something like that, but a little bit more heavy duty, and the path that is open to cut is a little bit wider. It's like 7.5 or 8 inches wide instead of the 6 inches that you're limited to with the other machines. But like I said, it's heavy duty, and by heavy I mean it's like 21 pounds, so it's not for the faint of heart to be carrying around, but it is what I have currently. I had a Big Shot, but I broke it. I had it for many, many years, and it finally broke, and I ordered a new one, and I ended up putting that at my mom's house for her to use, and I'm using the bigger one because it's a little bit bulky for her to manage, and so the Big Shot is a little bit nicer for her to handle. It's a little bit more weighted properly for her. So anyway, so I went ahead and cut a bunch of those vines, and then you saw me ink up the opposite side of those flowers. I still used the yellow scattered straw, but I switched to, I believe it's Salty Ocean. And then I'm just going to layer up these vines just like it has on the inspiration piece. A couple of them I clip apart, as you can see there, and I use those excess pieces to just keep layering them up. And it kind of, on screen, it doesn't read as well as it does in person because it looks like there's just a big pile of vines, but in person it reads much prettier than it does on screen. And so hopefully it reads better on your screen than what I'm making it out to be. Um, so I just kind of left those white. I didn't do a whole lot of extra stuff. I just thought that the white simple layers look nice, and that is one reason I put the colored florals behind, is just to give a little bit of a color background and show that there's so many layers. You can kind of see them as they peek through um, all of the vines that are layered on top. And I do really like how it looks in the end. It's really pretty, and it's kind of soft. So, and I don't know which dye that is, or even who it's from. So if that's something that you really want to know, I can try and do a little bit of research, although I have kind of taken a quick glance to see if I could figure out who it was, and it wasn't super apparent, but I would be happy to do some digging if that's something that you are more interested in knowing. So so here I've got these pieces. I'm just tacking them down with my Nuvo Deluxe adhesive. I'm not adhering all the way out to the ends of them because I want them to have some movement and some dimension. I don't want them stuck flat on the page. And so that's kind of important to me, that it's not just completely adhered. I want that dimension to show and a little bit of movement. So, and I really like how that looks. And then in the sketch that had a couple of little pieces sticking out from the side around the journaling area, and so that's what I'm doing as well. Although I did switch the side that the journaling is on, it worked better for me due to the way that my picture is oriented. So I'm just switching up which side it is. And I am also popping my photo up onto some foam tape, or fun foam, if you will. It's just fun foam from Walmart adhesive on one side, and then I will use some liquid adhesive to adhere it down. Now the pieces that I am actually putting down right now, those are extra pieces that were used to create a title, and so the pattern paper is already stuck to the adhesive side of the foam, and that's why I'm using the liquid adhesive or my tape runner on either side, because there is no adhesive exposed anymore. But I do want to use up those foam pieces. I don't want to just throw them in the trash because they're useful still. Nobody sees what's underneath the photo, and I find that it's still very useful, and I didn't want to be wasteful. So I pull out a bunch of different fonts trying to figure out what my title is going to be, and I pull out these old freckled fawn fonts. I am going to use these black ones, and my title is going to be 4 Generations Almost. And I really like this font, and I kind of wish they still had it, although I have found that the letters don't stick great. Even the ones that are already in my album, I've had to go back and re-adhere them with a little bit of glue because they kind of tend to curl up. So if you have these in your stash, I really recommend you using them and using a little bit of liquid adhesive to hold them down so that they don't just detach from your page while they're in the album. So, but they are a fun font, and I really enjoy using them. So I also have them in white, which was great because I could use my Sharpie to change the color of the letter because I was out of A's in black. Surprisingly, I still had a few E's, but I was out of A's and I's. So rather than altering like a J into an I just decided to use a white one, and I will use my Sharpie there to go ahead and make it black. And I'm just holding it with my tweezers, using my Sharpie, making sure I get all of the edges covered, and it looks fine. You can't even tell. And so once I get all of my title down, I will be looking for another alpha to do the word almost, because I don't want it to be like 4 Generations Almost. I want it to be kind of like the almost would be in parentheses. Even though I don't use parentheses, I use a couple of dashes because the fonts that I have don't have any brackets or parentheses or anything like that. So I guess parentheses is not the right word. It's brackets. So, you know, I would typically put it in brackets, but I will just offset it with some dashes, and it's going to be in a different color, so it reads just a little bit different than as if it was the entire title. So while I get my title down, I just wanted to say thank you guys so much for watching and for spending time with me throughout this month. If you missed any videos, you can go back to my playlist for Off the Board. You will find not only the stuff that I've done for the entire month, but all of the videos that I've done over the past couple years for Off the Board. So there's tons of inspiration, and I really do appreciate any of the time that you take to watch my videos and leave comments and all of that good stuff. So if you do have comments, leave them down below. I do get back to you, and it may not be the same day, but I do get back to you, and I read all of them, and I really enjoy reading them, and I really enjoy communicating with you guys. So, and if you have questions, I'm happy to answer those at any time. So feel free to leave messages. And if you don't mind, hit the like button down below. I'd really appreciate that as well. Okay, so there is my title for Almost. And those letters are from Pink Fresh Studio. And they're just a little tiny alpha. I really like them. It's a great color. Goes perfectly with this particular paper background. And so it was like the right choice. I did have green as well, but the green was like a bright green. And so that was not gonna work out. Then I just add some sequins, and these are from Spiegel Mom Scraps, and I don't know the name of them. They came in a kit that I had, so there is no name on the bag or anything. I think they were custom to a kit, and just adding a few of those sprinkled throughout just to give a little bit of pizzazz and a little more visual interest. I am using, like, it's kind of a weird sequin. It's like a turquoise circle that has like all these little rings on it, and then right next to it I'm putting this little tiny heart sequin, and it's like an outline of a heart. It's not even like the full heart, so you'll see that in the close-ups. Again, thanks so much for watching. I hope that you guys have enjoyed this series. Again, we will be back at the end of the month, so you'll get even more inspiration at that point. Which reminds me, I really wanted to also thank Crystal Barrett at Pineapple Papers for putting this together. This is her brainchild, and it has been so much fun. I've enjoyed playing along with Crystal all year long and all throughout the month. So thank you, Crystal, for all of the time and effort and energy that you put into this. And thank you for watching all of the videos. Crystal is amazing at going through and watching videos and leaving comments on all of the people playing along. Here's the close-ups. Thanks again, you guys. I will see you again next time. Bye-bye.